Cooperate here. All right. Thank you very much for tuning into Channel Starface. I am Sith Lord, and I am here with the great sensei of pool, Brian of FX Billiards. How are you, Brian?
I'm good. How are you?
Hey, hanging in there. We'll see how good exactly with these miserable clips. I mean, decent clips that I put together for you today. So hopefully it'll be better than last week's performance. I will tell you, my APA game this week, I swept 3-zip, even when the lag, whole nine.
Nice.
So that was definitely a good plus because the week before was atrocious. I think I lost 4-1 or 3-1, something like that. So
Okay.
yikes.
Well, one thing about the clips last week, there were some misses, some miserable misses, but that's what people learn from. So it's okay. You know, it's
I'm
okay
gonna
if
tell myself.
you have a bad outing. That's why that's why if you watch my videos, you'll see some misses in there, or sometimes I replay them at the end. We're not perfect. So especially if you're doing drills or something like that.
Oof.
Um, but but yeah, it's a learning moment for people, so it's okay. It's
Yeah,
okay.
no, I get it. No, well, I'm definitely learning. I'll say that. So, like, if there's a lot of
Okay.
missing, I'm definitely learning a lot. But actually, again, I put a shorter video, less plays, but I think they're pretty good. Well, let's take a look. Let's see. Let me not be a spoiler
Yeah.
here. All right,
Okay.
so this is against me versus the general. He just missed, and I just came right in. Here we go.
Okay. So it looked like. Can you go back
Tell me to
for
pause.
like seconds? Yeah, I want to see that shot again.
Yeah, 'cause I just rushed right in there, didn't I?
Yeah. Okay.
I kind of saw
So
it right away. Oh, all right. The five ain't even done yet.
yeah. So okay, I was trying to figure out what happened. I saw the 8 ball get kicked out, but it's because you went off of your ball.
Yeah,
All right. So did you intend on kicking your ball out of there?
actually, yes.
Okay. That was a good play. I was just wondering.
Yeah, yeah. It was one of those that it worked out how I wanted. Very few times.
Okay.
Yikes.
what is the general looking for? It's like I,
He's just a.
I he's just
You
looking.
blew it.
He's looking in all the pockets. It's
He's
like
making
I
sure
put
that.
it down somewhere. Did
Yeah, no,
anybody
in
see my
general.
pistol? I
Yeah,
put it in one of these pockets
in one
earlier
of these
today.
pockets.
Yeah, I think I'll look for it while you're shooting.
Yeah, yeah. Oh man, I love the general. Yeah, no, he's in and out. You know what I mean? But sometimes he'll string together these plays, and I'm not gonna turn him down when he wants to shoot around. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, no, I
But,
like
but
him. I want him to adopt me.
oh,
Let's
you
go.
kidding me?
Yeah, let's go.
All right. Let's see what we got here. All right, so you saw ended up missing that 8, which I again a great setup. But I mean, I overshot this one right here. You know what I mean? I don't understand. Like, I was, where I wanted it, closer to the center of the table.
Yeah.
That was just way too much.
You blew it!
Oof. All right. Ball in hand.
Okay. I don't like this pattern
Okay.
because you've got some issue balls. That 14,
Yeah.
that 14 which should be shot first because it's the hardest to get to. And
Understood.
so and with ball in hand, I am definitely shooting that 14 first. It and if it doesn't go, I'm not sure how much space you have past the 13. But if you
Yeah.
can't make the 14, you play the third. You get the 13 out of the way, and then you play the 14. So you're taking swats at it, but
Yeah.
yeah, you're yeah, you definitely play the 14, and then probably the 9,
I played
because
that too soft.
what happened is you shot one of the best key balls at the beginning. And it's
Oh,
common with ball in hand, um, just playing. You know, a lot of times there is no one pattern in 8 ball. You could do a lot of different things, but then there are
right.
times that there's the right ball, and everybody from Shane down to an APA 7 would have shot that 14 first. Probably
Okay,
14-9, 14-9, 13, if I recall the way they were set up.
let's take a look.
That's probably the right order here. Yeah, see,
So the
that's one of your
14,
best key balls. Yeah. So 14, 14-9, maybe
9 into
11,
the
13.
maybe
No, so
11,
I'm playing the
13.
14. I'm playing the 14 in the corner next to you where you're standing. I'm playing the 9
Yeah,
back over to this to the corner closest to the camera to get on the
understood.
11. So the 11 will get me on the 13 because the 13 goes in the same pocket. We would be shooting the 14. So I could draw back a little bit for that. And then look at the rest of the
Hmm.
table. You got a triangle and you're out on the rest of the stripes because is it the funny thing is you have 3 really good key balls. So the 15, which I think is the one in the center of the table,
I think so too.
is
Yeah.
either the 10 or the 12 over by your hand for that
Yeah.
one. Those are the 2 best key balls on the table. And the third best key ball is the one right next to to your right, the stripe. Yeah, right
Oh,
there.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
And
know
this
what that
is
is.
I don't know why it happens, maybe because they're so obvious to people, but the it's a very common thing to see players, amateur players, shoot off their key balls with ball in hand instead of a lot of times I see that. And one of the things you ask yourself, if you're not sure what the key ball looks like, ask yourself for $1,000, which of these balls would I like to if I only had 2 balls on the table, which 2 balls would I want to have? If I had the 8 and one other ball, which ball would I want to shoot to get on the 8? Probably that 15 that you're shooting now,
Oh,
or the stripe next to your hand. So to
yeah.
get those off the table now is not a good idea. The balls that are below the 8, we definitely want to get off the table.
Okay. All right. All
Yeah.
right. That actually
Okay.
makes all the sense in the world.
Yeah.
And we'll see how,
And
or if this
yeah.
comes to bite me in the ass. I'm sorry. You were going to say something else?
No, I was going to say patterns are the most challenging thing to players in pool. It really is. It's just I think it comes from not having seen enough of them.
Understood.
Because you don't have as many hours under your belt to analyze them, but there's certain things to look for, and those
Right.
side pocket shots always make good key balls. Okay, we can go. We can go on.
No, no. Hey, no problem. Let's see.
So you could have. I see you were trying to break up the 14
Swinging and missing.
situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, and because you didn't have to do that, you could have stunned it and then played the 9, but you managed to get to the 14, so that's good. The
That's
problem
kind of
is everything's
cool.
going the wrong way after you hit the 14.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah. So you're gonna have to take a shot here that doesn't really put you on another shot. That's the issue here. So you've got a triangle, which is always good.
Mhm.
Now, if you can play this down there and make it, so that's good. That worked out.
Trying so hard not to spoil this. Gritting my teeth. Let me just say that.
Well, you picked the right key ball.
Not the worst setup.
No, it was a decent run considering the pattern. Yeah. But you know, quick card. It's like, oh, shit, this guy again.
Yeah, really.
I hear every week guys say to me, you know, Brian, I got down to the 8 ball and I missed. It a lot of times it's not that you're just missing the 8 ball, it's that it's something that happened sometimes 3 shots ahead, 4 shots, or in this case, the miss was set up 5 shots out. Because if you play the 14 first, you get on everything else. It's almost automatic. Everything else was, you know, like stop, or a slow roll. Nothing fancy needed to be done. Because you're here, yeah, because you're way back here on that side pocket shot is the reason why you're out of position for the 8 ball. But look at this. So you play, like I said, you could play 14, 9, 11. You could play 14, draw back and play the 11, 9. The 13 and everything else has a pocket that you can just shoot stop shots on. So
I gave myself more work than I needed.
Right, exactly. This is where the run broke down.
The first
6 shots,
shot.
6 shots out. Yeah, actually 7 shots out is where the run broke down, and
I almost saved it. But nope. Yeah.
Yeah, that's and that shot would not have. Well, I would have played the. If I ended up there, I would have played the 9. But yeah, patterns are one of the toughest things. Every day, somebody says to me, you know, because I always ask people at the beginning of a lesson, what do you want to work on? And every day, somebody says patterns. I don't see these patterns.
Same here.
I did a. You can let this run. I want to tell you, I did a very interesting lesson the other day. One of my students who plays straight pool, he said, he came up with the idea. It was genius. He said, and he's in front of his table. I'm not even at the house where my table is. He says, let's play straight pool, Brian. And he said, I'm going to shoot all the shots. You tell me what you would play. And then I'm going to shoot them for you. And then when it's turn, Brian, don't coach me. I said, okay. So he had what would have been one of his high runs with my pattern. And I ended up winning the straight pool match. We only played, you know, like the 15 or something like that.
Yeah.
But just with him shooting the balls and me just giving him the pattern. But what it illustrated was, without shooting the balls, just the knowledge of which order to play the balls in is so strong that you know, it made all the difference in the world. It made a 10-ball difference. I really shouldn't spoil it because I'm going to turn it into a YouTube video. But yeah, I'm just telling him what my pattern is, and he ends up with 4 times more points than than the patterns he picked out for himself. So there's a lot to it. Okay, let's roll.
All right. Well, I'm sure the 12 audience members that are watching are not going to be upset that you spoiled
Yeah.
the match. All right. So let's see what we got going on. I think I remember this one.
Don't we know what happens at the end of just about every movie, though?
Yeah. At the end of the day,
you can't really
the guy
spoil
gets the
too
girl.
many. Exactly.
And SithLord misses the game.
And if it's a
Or
Quentin
does he?
Tarantino movie, everybody's going to die.
Everyone's going to die.
So we're just tuning in to see how they're going to die. So yeah, this you didn't have ball in hand at the beginning of this, did you?
Let's run it back because I don't
Yeah.
think I did.
Okay.
No, not
Okay.
that did not have ball in
all
hand.
right. All right. So that cluster with the stripe and the 8.
Yeah, I got to get that somehow.
Yeah, that becomes a target of primary interest. And the interesting thing, and I've heard this a lot, for whatever reason over the last couple of days, guys complaining to me that their coaches said something to them like, "Oh, let him break up the cluster," talking about his opponent. So,
Wow.
which is idiotic, because if I'm the opponent, when I break up that cluster, it's going to be because I'm finishing the rack. They think
right.
It's funny how the guy who thinks he's the smartest in the room is never even close to being the smartest in the room. And so you're saying that my opponent is stupid enough to break that up so that I can make the 8 ball. But we're geniuses because I'm going to leave it there. No. Sometimes you're playing an idiot, but most of the time, people aren't that stupid. They're going to do your handiwork for you. And even regardless of the person's rank, because there are a lot of 3s that just haven't moved up, but they're strategically, they know better than to do your dirty work for you. So people that are waiting with these clusters for somebody else to break it up for them, that might work against some people, but not anybody who has any intelligence or has somebody on their team that has any intelligence, because they're going to tell them, don't free that up for him.
What are you doing? Yeah, right.
Yeah, but you got to play the 8 ball. You've got to play the 8 ball like it's your ball. So you consider that, cluster something that needs to be broken up. Maybe not early in the rack. If you're a relatively low or mid-ranked player and you're playing a low to mid-ranked player, it means the reason for your ranking is that you have high inning games. So if you have a high inning game, you don't have to break it out early. Like I was talking about, solve your problems early. You don't have to break it out early because you're probably going to play 4 or 5 innings, but you're not going to run racks if you don't break up clusters and you don't break them up early. So, you can win. You can win in 4 innings, but people want to run racks, and that's how you run racks. You treat that 8 like it's yours, and you get it out of there. So anyway, that said, what you should be looking at is a pattern that fixes the 3-6 and a pattern that fixes the cluster. So the 3-6 is a higher priority because they're
understood.
Yeah, and we're close to them. Okay.
Let's see how I solve this, because I remember the end. I don't remember the journey.
Okay. All right. Be careful about moving sideways into your shots. All right.
Understood.
You just kind of shuffled over on that. You want to move towards the shot on every shot, regardless of how easy. Think about all the easy shots you've missed in your life. It's a good chance that it was the result of skipping your pre-shot routine or moving in a strange direction to get on the shot. You see the attention you paid to that shot? That was a great shot. The attention you paid to that shot is the same attention you have to pay to your layups.
Keeping all this in, all the walking around, everything, so you could see me thinking
I
about
like it. No, I like it. Ooh, does that even go? Wow. It looked like you had half the pocket there on that shot.
That's I guess that goes with walking around the table, seeing that angle, right? Because I think that's what I was seeing. Does it go? Does it go?
Yeah, that's good.
It's not quite where I wanted to cue, but
yeah, it looks like a lot of these are shots of opportunity. Like, let me put the ball in and see what I have, which is
see what happens.
yeah, let's see what happens. Let's roll the dice. Which happens a lot. I mean, it all goes back to, the pattern.
I'll try to go for that cluster.
Yeah.
I lucked out there. Or did I?
Well, you're doing some good shot making.
Thank you. That is why I included this clip. I was impressed with.
Yeah. Oh.
Good news, bad news.
You got it in a bad way.
Yeah.
You just went from a 3-1 favorite to a 5-1 underdog.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Me doing all these Albert Einstein equations. If I hit the ball at this angle, I have to hit the rail here.
I'm going to say something very controversial here.
What's that?
Most people watching this, most people watching this that are higher than APA 4s would beat Shane from here. If Shane was on the 8 ball right now, most people watching this that are APA 4 or higher. That's how much of an underdog the solids are at this point, because everything else is like just lined up and ready to go in the pocket. Oh, you can get on these balls by luck and run out.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, you can just randomly shoot them. My friends would be like, "Come on, Brian, just shoot them in numerical order for us." you know.
So there that went. Yeah. All right, so this is the last clip of the video here, and this is I mean, it looks kind of easy to me, but
look at this layout. Hold on, pause it, quick. What's Oh man,
it's pretty easy.
It is. I'm trying to figure out. I definitely shoot the 1 first.
I should have shot the 1 first.
No, maybe you shot the right ball, but okay. So the 6 doesn't go a lot of places. Maybe the 5, and then to open up the pocket for the 6. So maybe I shoot the 5 first, and then I work on the 1 and the pocket hanger. So now I got the 6. The 2 puts you on the 3. The only reason I don't want to shoot the 2 first or before the 3 is because the 2 is below the 8, and I'd really like to shoot. You always want to shoot the 8 in one of the corners if you can. So yeah. So here's my pattern. I'm shooting 5 hanger. I think the hanger might be a 4 ball.
That's the 4 right here by my hand.
Yeah. 5, 4, 1. 6 puts me on the 2, and the 2, all I have to do is get anywhere near like 75% of the table puts you on the 3 ball, and the 3 puts you on the 8. You can shoot the 3 in from almost anywhere on the table and get on the 8.
And get on the 8. Interesting. All right. So let's see how All right. So just to recap, you're going 1, 5, right?
No,
Or are you
no, no,
going
no,
five,
no, no.
one?
Five first.
Yeah,
5, 5, 4, 1,
5, 4, 1,
6, 6, 2, 3, 8.
6, 2, 3, and then the 8. Okay.
Yep.
So I start with the 6.
Which is not a bad idea, but you give
Yeah.
yourself a 7-foot shot where you could have just rolled it in the side after getting the 5 out of the way if you wanted to get it off early. You did solve your problem early, so that
Yeah.
you're doing a lot of things correctly as far as your decision making goes. It's just seeing the pattern. And like I said before, the ability to see the patterns, it transcends intelligence. And what I mean by that is some of the brightest, most educated people that I know can't see these patterns. They just don't have
Right.
enough reps. Two of my guys are doctors, and well, they're dentists, but just as hard, by the way.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Maybe
um,
grosser, certain degrees.
yeah, yeah. But two of my guys are dentists, and they both have a hard time seeing these patterns. And I'm pretty sure my wife's not watching, so I'll say this: playing pool is like doing a puzzle, and I'm a lot smarter than my wife, but she's better at puzzles. So I don't think
Ah,
there's I don't think there's a direct correlation between the solving problem with patterns and intelligence. So no one should feel like they're not intelligent because they can't see these patterns. And smart guys don't feel that way. They never say, oh,
yeah,
I'm an idiot, I can't see these patterns. They just say, I can't see these patterns. And I think
right.
sometimes it boils down to overthinking things. It is really, these patterns are checkers, and a lot of people are trying to play chess. And you need to just be very logical and very simple about it. But again, it comes from tens of thousands of hours at least of seeing these things and playing them off. So anyway, that said,
Yeah.
let's see what you did.
What did I
Now that
do?
we've determined you're not an idiot,
Not all the way, anyway. Just
let's see
idiotic
what
tendencies.
happens.
All right. So yeah.
because
So
this
I.
because what you've done so far is not bad. It's very close if you think about it. It's very
Yeah.
close to what I said. You got the 6 off the table, right? So that was
Yep.
one of the things we needed to do. We needed to work these 2 balls. Now, if the 6 was still on the table, it would have put you on the 2 ball a lot easier, which would
Yeah.
have been a good K2. So
Yeah.
what you did was not that far off of what I said. And there are high ranked players that would have played it the way you did, other than the 6. I don't think anyone is shooting a
That
5-foot
7 foot shot
shot.
or 5 feet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when it's 6 inches from the pocket. It's literally
Yeah.
6 inches from the side pocket. I'm not
Yeah.
going down table. You know, but excellent run though.
There you go.
So yeah, I think you did a lot of things right in that run out. And again,
Thank you.
just because something is my pattern doesn't make it everyone's. But given all the things I can do with the cue ball, think about my pattern. I didn't say draw at any point. I didn't say English
Right.
at any point. You can roll each one of those in and
Yeah.
and be on the next one. You don't need one. Maybe you should have stopped shot on the 3 ball, but that's the only shot that involved anything special.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
so that's the reason for shooting good patterns. That said, a lot of good players, including myself, will play bad patterns simply because we have the ability to do things.
Yeah.
Shoot a 5-foot draw shot with English off of 2 rails, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because we can do it, sometimes we get lazy with selecting the pattern.
I was just gonna say that. Which
yeah,
pattern
but
makes
yeah,
me walk least around the table?
I swear, I have it on video, and I'm sure it's happened 1,000 times. I just noticed it one time. But there was a match. It was an exhibition with with Earl Strickland, and so he's playing Efren, and on Efren's last shot, Efren plays position off of 3 rails, where he could have just rolled the ball over, but by playing it
Yeah.
off of 3 rails, he was able to stand there and wait for the ball to come around the table.
So he doesn't have to walk.
So instead of shooting a follow shot and walking around the table, he's sitting off of 3 rails, and he just stood there and waited for it, and then the ball came, and then he shot it in.
That's hilarious, man. Yeah. Well, I mean, like, laziness is the best motivator in some ways.
And, you know, Efren is so humble that people don't appreciate how often he is showing the hell off. I mean, he shows off constantly.
Yeah.
And you know, when I show off, people are like, "Yeah, look at that asshole." They know I'm showing off, right?
We get it, Brian. Oh, 4 rails.
Efren
Thanks.
shows off. Efren shows off, and not to put myself in the same paragraph as Efren, but Efren shows off, and everybody's like, "Oh, that's nice. Did you see what he did?"
Wow.
And, yeah.
I got the lucky. And then,
exactly.
Right. Yeah, you sure did, pal.
Exactly. But he's constantly showing off. He's constantly playing, and these, you know, these shots like the Z shot and stuff like that. And he's scratching his head. I'm like, dude, you know exactly what you're doing. You're from a different planet. You already know that you're gonna make this thing. And he's like, oh, let me see what I'm gonna do. I'm like, no, you came out of the blocks knowing you were gonna do something amazing. And
now, the Z shot. The Z shot. I gotta ask you this, all right? This is just. Do you think he was going to make the shot, or he's just really hoping for contact? And he got
he's definitely going to make the shot, and because he's got to make it to win. But I'll tell you 2 things about the Z shot. First off, what pool players forget when they're watching Efren and they're watching Alex Pagulayan, they don't pay enough attention to Alex Pagulayan, by the way. When they're watching Efren and they're watching Alex, because they do a lot of similar things, but Alex doesn't get the same press. These guys played 3 cushion, particularly Efren. They played 3 cushion, and shots like the Z shot is an everyday type 3 cushion shot where you have to come off of 3 rails and make contact with a ball in a very specific spot. Okay, so it's not. It's an amazing shot made under pressure, but it's like when I shoot 3 rail position and I know where the ball is going. That doesn't come from me playing 3 cushion billiards, because where I grew up there was no 3 cushion billiards, but it comes from me wanting to play 3 cushion billiards for 5 years. When I was a kid, I was obsessed with 3 cushion billiards, so I have a very good sense of where that ball is going to go because I've done it so many times. So you better stop that video. You're going to have a copyright thing.
Thank you for that. All right, cool.
Yeah.
They'll get you for that, for real? All right. I'll put something over that. It's muted.
Oh, I gotta tell you. I'll tell you a story about a copyright thing.
I
snatched
crazy.
some waves. The sound of waves. I snatched off the internet and got a copyright hit because of the sound of the. They copyrighted the sound of the waves. I'm like, dude. Anyway,
YouTube just keeps fixing this. They keep fixing the site until it's going to be completely broken. like we had it perfect like 15 years ago, and y'all just keep messing with it. Leave it alone. we were fine.
I'm like, okay, yeah. Some dude went down to the beach and turned on his mic and recorded the waves. So they're his waves, I guess. So
those are my wave sounds, pal. My waves.
Yeah. I'm like, the algorithm is unbelievable if it picked up the sound of waves and identified it as a copyrighted sound. Anyway, that's a whole different thing. But
yikes.
So that's my take on the Z shot, is the fact that yes, he knew where that ball was going. He knew the math, whether he did the math or he just saw it so many times. It's a lot of guys that play 3 cushion billiards would not necessarily make the shot, but come very close to making it. Like, given 4 or 5 tries, it still makes it an amazing shot. The other thing about the Z shot is it's not the best shot in pool. It's the most famous shot. The
Sure.
best shot I ever saw in competition, and I don't know where it is online or they took the video down or what, but Shane shot a jump kick off of multiple rails in 10 ball. So he had to call the shot. So
Oh my Lord.
he jumped a cluster of balls. He hit the object ball. So he's called the pocket, right? Comes
Yeah.
off of 2 rails and makes the shot. And the only
Gotta
reason I
find out.
remember the shot, it happened right after the Z shot. And I was in a pool hall, and there are heated debates all over the place about which shot was greater. And I mean, guys are like, no, the Z shot is this and that. And I broke it down.
Controlling the hop though. Off the
I
rail?
walked in and won the debate. I walked in the middle of the discussion and I won the debate. And you
Hear
know how
ye,
I
hear
won it?
ye.
You know how I won it? I told
How?
guys, I said, you can shoot the Z shot. I said, you can shoot the Z shot 5 times and make it. You can't shoot Shane's shot 50 times and make it.
Right.
That's what made Shane's shot more difficult. None of us would have been able to pull off Shane's shot, no matter how many. And Shane himself, by the way, could have shot it 50 times and not made it again.
This was the
it
one,
wasn't luck because he called it. He knew what was going to happen. But
perfect execution.
Yeah, but the Z shot,
that's insane.
You could pull that. You could pull that off.
Yeah.
Enough tries.
I like
you had to have so many skills. You had to have a jump skill. You had to have a kick, the bank skill. I mean, there's so many things that had to go right for you. So anyway, that's
me as a normie. When I see the Z shot always was like, because when you look at the table, you don't see anything. you don't see a play for Ephraim. Like, what the hell is he gonna do, right? And then, like, especially your first time seeing the play, you're like, well, okay, great. He's stuck behind a bunch of balls. It's all the other end or whatnot. And then he performs a shot, and you're like, oh, that's like what the table kind of opens up to people when they see stuff like that happen. You know, like, oh, okay, start seeing the possibilities.
Yeah. Well, that's the magic of Ephraim, and again, like I said, Alex Pagulayan, is not just, they call Ephraim the magician because he makes these crazy shots.
Pull it out
intentionally.
Nowhere.
Yeah. But what they don't recognize is the genius is in just knowing the shot is on the table. And and that just comes from, he's got, they say you need 10,000 hours to be elite at anything. And Ephraim's got, 4 lifetimes worth of, the best, some of the best in the world have 20,000 hours of deliberate practice, and Ephraim's probably got 50,000 hours. So,
unreal.
But it comes with sacrifice. Guys say to me, they're like, "Oh, Brian, I can't do your semicircle drill, or I can't draw the ball like you do, or I can't do this and I can't do that." And I'm like, dude, when you were in school doing your homework, I was playing pool. When you, or if you ask my wife, when he was spending time with his family, you were playing pool. I'm like, absolutely. So,
yeah, man,
those
like
things,
same thing.
Yeah, there's something you're not doing. And I was either playing pool or playing basketball when I was supposed to be doing something else, working or doing homework or taking out the garbage.
Look how bad you turned out. Look how bad you turned out by missing all that important schooling that is helping you today. That you could have education you missed out on.
I was very fortunate in that I've done a lot of things that I should not have been able to do, and I didn't have anybody around to tell me I couldn't do them. So, a lot of people don't know my backstory, but I, for years, managed financial advisors. I was a vice president and regional manager. I was managing, there was $1 billion of assets under my control.
Whew.
And
I did not know that.
Yeah, exactly. And if I told somebody, you know what, I'm going to shoot pool for a few years, I'm going to play cards for a living for a few years, I'm going to manage $1 billion in assets, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and I'm going to teach myself how to do all of this shit, they would say, you're nuts. You're nuts. But nobody told me I couldn't do it until I figured out that I could do it. So I'm like, hey, you okay, I can do it. So when you're telling your kids they can do anything, you're not lying to them. You know,
that's right.
Chris Rock has a joke that about when people tell their kids you can be anything you want to be, and he's like, no, they can't.
Hell no.
Yeah.
Right. No, you can't be a unicorn.
There's a lot. Yeah. Yeah. You probably, who knows, by the time they're in their 20s, maybe you can be a unicorn.
Well, look at what's going on. That's a whole other talk. But
exactly.
Louis C.K. had a joke, and it was like, yeah, when you're a kid, your parents will tell you you can do anything. By the time you're in high school, they were like, well, you can do 5 things. That's it.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, all right. Well, listen.
Yeah.
No. Go on. I'm sorry. I'm stepping on you.
No. I was just reiterating. Let your kids have their dreams, because they might be me and not knowing. You know, we used to call it. Me and my best friend used to call it the bumblebee effect. Like, aerodynamically, the bumblebee is not supposed to be able to fly. Okay. The size of his wings and the shape of his body shouldn't be able to fly, but nobody bothered to tell him. So
yeah.
So that's what we used to call it. Anyway.
So either the bumblebee could just fly because it believes, or scientists don't know shit. It's just, it's designed not to fly, but it's flying, dude. I mean, I don't know. You figure it out.
And doing a good job. Well,
yeah, right.
Yeah.
So I guess that's it. Cool. I think I've kept you here long enough. I think your ransom has been paid successfully. All right, and so I'm allowed to release you.
And thank you guys for watching. Check out this channel. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. Okay.
Yes, check out FX Billiards. Sorry, go on. Yeah.
Check us out too, but hit the subscribe button for this channel, because you guys are missing a lot of fun if you're not.
Oh man.
All right, guys.
God bless you. Thank you so much, man. As always. Okay. And to the fans, hit like, subscribe, follow FX, and we'll see you next time. Take care.